Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Aaron. I just wanted to shoot the latest edition of my daily vlog, Coates' Corner, and just want to touch on a couple news items. The news item of the day, in my opinion, is the monster storm that is about to make landfall in Mexico. Why do I say that? It's worse than Hurricane Katrina, with 200-mile-per-hour sustained winds. And that figure may have gone up, may have dropped slightly, but nonetheless, it's a devastating and potentially catastrophic storm that is about to affect that country. Now, it's concerning for more reasons than just the chaos that could potentially ensue. It's alarming because Mexico, though it's not a third world nation, is definitely not a rich, well-developed country. It has its cities, its metropolitan areas that are just like any other country. But then you've got very rural, remote, and underdeveloped parts of the country, which unfortunately that makes up quite a bit of the country, a significant enough part that you could be potentially looking at total devastation of an entire town or village. Potentially. Again, this hasn't happened yet, but and that could have far-reaching ramifications for more than just Mexico. This could become an issue that we, as their neighbors, end up dealing with as well. Now, I do believe we should be supporting and helping in any way that we can as a nation. I also believe that, going into it and during the storm, no matter what faith, nationality you are, saying a prayer for them. It's a scary situation that could turn very deadly for a significant amount of people. Now, that's all I would ask of you guys, is to just say a prayer for the people of Mexico tonight, because they're going to need them, It's very sad. Very sad. Next topic I want to touch on is the Benghazi situation. The committee that is investigating Hillary Clinton, investigating the emails that were supposedly deleted. The full investigation into the Benghazi incident. That's where, some foreign diplomats and other people, citizens of the U.S. as well as Libya, lost their lives due to a terrorist attack on consulate in Libya. There's accusations that came from that, stemming from that whole incident, that implicated cover-up. Now, who's behind the cover-up, that's yet to be seen. The purpose and the reason Hillary Clinton is on the stand in this incident, or in this particular instance, is because I guess some of the evidence leads to her or someone who works for her. Now, by no means, I should say, am I saying that Hillary did or didn't have anything to do with it. But whoever it was should be tried for treason and punished accordingly, because it was a despicable thing to cover up, and not just because it was loss of American lives that made it worse for me personally, but it'd be equally bad if it was North Koreans that died in such a meaningless way. It's sad. Whoever it was, Hillary Clinton, one of her aides, someone in her cabinet, part of her staff, whoever it was, like I said, they should be tried. They should stand trial and face whatever punishment gets handed down. It's my 2 cents. Now, if it does end up that it was Hillary, and she was part of the cover-up, her candidacy for the presidency should end immediately. Now, again, I'm not saying that Hillary was or wasn't involved. My point here is that if she was, she should not get the nomination for the Democratic Party. No matter who it was, it doesn't matter. But, I mean, because at the end of the day, people died and they didn't have to. And then after they died, nothing really was done to alleviate the pain that this nation felt after losing them. That's the point of the video, or the point of this segment, is not to present evidence why Hillary Clinton was part of it. No, that's not the case at all. So people don't have to go off the deep end about, I'm anti-Hillary. I don't personally claim either party. I think they both have their good and bad points, and I tend to land somewhere in the middle of both. That's about all I'll say about it in terms of political affiliation. I don't, it's just not a conversation as I just make it a personal thing at work, with friends, anybody. Not to get into political debates, especially when there is an upcoming election. It's just not a particular topic I engage in with other people because of difference of opinion. Best of friends could become the worst of enemies over politics. It's just not a debate I engage in very often, if at all. So I will leave it at that as far as that particular topic's concerned. And move on to the next thing. Now, the next thing, it's kind of piggybacking off of what I was just talking about, and that is the media and the problem with the version of the news that we actually get. Now, and this is a pretty well-known thing, but if you, and I'll focus pretty much specifically on political type stories, leaks, things like that. Each media outlet as a whole tends to spin a story to benefit their agenda, whether it's gun control, gay marriage, any controversial topic that you can pretty much name. They take full advantage of that stuff. You watch a story on Fox News, and then you watch the same news story on CNN. You're going to get two completely different editorial approaches to each version of the story. And on a personal level, for me, that's a scary thing in some ways, because one, it shows that the news that you're being given, you can't trust. This isn't like some epiphany I just had. This is a lot of people, feel this way. So the question is, who do you trust? You trust yourself. You trust yourself because the version of the story that you're being fed, in all likelihood, there's a small smidgen of truth in it, and the rest of it is either for controversy or entertainment, both of which CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, they all profit from. Another good example, a few good examples of this. When the economy crashed, the recession that hit a few years back, from one channel to the next, it was a different version and a different spin. The next example, and I'll just pick one right off the top of my head, Sandy Hook. Now, I'm not going to turn this into, it being a conspiracy. I'm not going to get into that. But what I am getting into is the fact that the version, when the tragedy originally happened, the version that you got, and the descriptions, and the casualties, eyewitness accounts, it all varied from channel to channel to channel. When the news first broke, there was a different version of that particular, the account, the eyewitness account, the events, the sequence of events. It was different from channel to channel. And that was that was huge. That was national news. And just the inconsistencies between each, and then some of the interviews with the parents of the victims. And, just some things that there was just a lot of very strange things with that whole situation. Again, I'm not suggesting that it was a conspiracy at all. I try to avoid that stuff, guys. That's not the purpose of my channel. I have my own personal feelings about certain issues, yeah. But to me, everything isn't a conspiracy, or isn't the Illuminati, or isn't the New World Order, which they qualify as conspiracies, but nonetheless. So that's kind of my 2 cents on those particular topics. Again, politics is not something I like to debate with people. What I like to focus on and talk about are the issues. And you can talk about the issues without being pro-Democrat or pro-Republican, pro-conservative, pro-liberal. So there are ways to do it, and engage in conversation with people about political topics without turning it into a debate with people. And that's the fine line that I try to toe when I have these types of discussions. Like I said, yes, I have my own personal views and personal beliefs about these issues, but like I said, I don't believe that there's some big mystery corporation or shadow government. No. I just think that there is too, honestly, in a lot of ways, the George Orwell book, 1984, came to pass in some ways. And that's a scary thought. So anyway, guys, this particular vlog, I just really, the story with Mexico saddens me, and the Benghazi situation, investigation, that entire event makes me sick. Like, literally, I feel ill when I think about it. That there's potential that somebody within some place of power potentially could have covered up that whole incident, and covered up the knowledge that it could happen. So, as far as I'm concerned, guys, I'm doing well. I had a wonderful first week at the new job. It's going good, getting settled in. Happy, for first time in a while, with situations and with just life in general. So, I hope the same for you guys. And again, guys, if you can, just please say a prayer, because there's people that could potentially have a very, very, very traumatizing and catastrophic next couple days. So, just keep that in mind when you guys lay down and go to sleep. When we sit and we complain about, being broke, or, whatever it is, not having a car, or whatever, situation is going on in your life. Just keep in mind that, and I even sometimes have to remind myself of this, but there's always somebody worse off than us. So, just be grateful for the fact that you have the things you do have. Alright, guys. That's going to be it for me. This is, again, Coates's Corner, Volume 3. I held up the 2 for peace, but yeah, Volume 3. Thanks for watching, guys. And, you know, if you feel strongly like I do about any of these topics, post something in the comment section. I would be more, you know, it would be cool to engage, you know, and really talk to you guys about some of these issues. You know, I am about a little bit more than just exposing G4T and exposing e-beggars. I don't consider myself to be some kind of political analyst, because I'm not. But so anyway, guys, like I said, 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes in. Thanks again for watching, guys. You take care. Have a good weekend. Peace.